Hello, everyone, and teacher. Today, we're going to present the second discussion group. In this case, we are the team Paola, Ruth, Pepe, and Alejandra. In this case, the readings that we're going to discuss, the name of the one of them is The Influence of Others, Narrative about Family and Friends. And the second one is One's Teacher Reflected Journey. So we are going to start with the first question that says, who was the influence you had to become a teacher? Do you have a family member who is a teacher?
For me, I don't have a family member who is a teacher. But I must say the influence that I have to decide to become a teacher was a teacher from here from the language school. When I started taking my English classes, I like the way she teaches, and then I was like, I don't know what to do with my life, and why don't I become a language teacher?
Yeah, it was like a hobby, and the result that was your vocation to do it.
Not a hobby, but
Yeah,
I didn't know
I
what to
tried.
do with my life.
I tried, and I tried to be a teacher, and
Yeah.
but I like it. Okay, that's good. Some of us you want to share your experience, or did you have family?
In my case, I don't have family. Well, I think I have a cousin, but she lives in Monterrey, and I'm not in touch with her. But since I remember, since I was, I think, in the elementary, I always wanted to become a teacher. I don't know, I always like to help my classmates and teach them things that they didn't understand about the subjects. So that's like, and I had very good teachers that told me that, okay, you're good to be in front of a group, so maybe you should become a teacher. So maybe that influenced a lot of into my decision of becoming a teacher.
Yeah. Well, I think that sometimes it's only the ability that we have that's come to be a teacher. Like I have the ability to speak in English and to explain how the English how is. So I'm going to become a teacher. But it's something that only the ability that we have that become a teacher. Okay, thank you, Ruth. You're perfect.
Yeah, in my case, most of my family members are teachers. So once I had the opportunity um, to see saw one of my aunts to teaching, and but I never thought that um, I became a teacher many years later. But yes,
Yeah.
it's complicated.
All the situations are similar. Okay, thank you. We are moving on with the second one, with the second question. That is, how do you think your contents or your circumstances have influence in your teaching philosophy? So you have. I'm going to give you my example. For example, since my childhood, I had this support to with the English because no one in my family speaks English. But when I was a kid, only my family was go to the class, learn English, study English. And they're like, okay, I'm going to try it. And I also have this support and with that my vision with the to learn to teach English grow. And for this reason I have this vision and this perception for teaching English. That's one example. What about you guys? What was the situation that influence? Yeah, your philosophy.
For me, well, at first I didn't like English when I was in high school, but it was easy for me. And then when I finished, I was like, okay, why don't I study languages and I become translator or maybe, well, I used to like to become a flight attendant, but in that moment it wasn't very common for boys to become a flight attendant. It was more for girls. And yeah, when I started learning languages here in Guanajuato, it was like it was different. And yeah, I decided to become a teacher and like apply or use the some techniques and strategies that my teachers used to use because it was like funnier and easier to learn the language.
Okay, well, so the teachers influenced you
Yeah.
to be, okay, that's very good. What
I
about
think that
you?
in my case, since I was a child, my grandpa, he always liked, and I never realized that maybe that influenced me too, but he always wanted to teach. He always liked to teach. He was a baker. And I remember that my grandma used to tell like, why do you do this for free? Like you should gain something because it's your knowledge. He was like, no, I just want to more kids to learn. Because I remember he was teaching in bakery for high schoolers. And he was very happy just to help them know like a little bit of that. And I remember that he was so happy about it, so motivated, and maybe that helped me to like I want to be like him because my grandpa for me was like a role model. He taught me a lot of things. He influenced me a lot because he motivated me and he always tried to have the best out of me. So and all of my teachers because I always receive comments from them and I feel very motivated. So that led me to become who I am now. Because even in high school, I had a teacher that told me, you know what, you should teach, you should be in the BA for become an English teacher because English was very easy for me. And I started studying another thing, but then I started to learn studying this BA. So maybe that's what influenced.
That's very beautiful that how your uncle is
My grandpa.
your grandpa how it motivates you because he wants to be a teacher but for the circumstance I think he cannot. So there's influence to you and you are here now. That's very beautiful. Thank you so much, Ruth. Okay, let's move on with the third question. How do you plan your classes? Do you use a partner or are you free to plan as you want?
Yeah, in my case, I have to follow a specific format, and sometimes it's very I don't know. I don't have sometimes the freedom to use more dynamic activities. It's it's like you have to follow specific grammar points and well, it's it's something that you have to take into account before to start your lesson plan. And but sometimes I took the freedom to uh, modify my lesson plan, but yeah, most of the times I have to be very uh, square, yes, in my lessons plans.
Yeah, that's more hard and
Yeah,
tiring.
in a private institute, uh, you
Especially, I heard a lot of this, that the private schools have this.
yeah,
Really strict
you have a
rules.
lot of supervision. So
Okay, thank you, Pepe. What about you, Ruth?
In my case, I have to follow the textbook because the school had I don't know they made something with Richmond, so they paid I don't know maybe for 5 years using their books, so I have to, and because the books are very expensive, they're like 3,000 pesos. So if I don't use them, I get in trouble with parents because they are paying a lot of money for the books and I'm not using them. So I have to follow the book. Thankfully, the book is not bad. I think it has good content, good activities. And it depends a lot of my boss mood, what kind of activities can I do. Because sometimes when I'm very noisy, he gets really mad at me. And sometimes he's just amazed about it. So it depends a lot. I have a TV, I have internet, it's not always best, but I can use different activities, dynamics, games. Sometimes I can take them to the to the bathroom, I think. And they can play, but we cannot make too much noise because that bothers the other levels of the schools because we have kindergarten to high school. But yes, I have certain freedom sometimes to do what I want to do. And if I don't have it, sometimes I just break the rules because I think it's very important that my students feel comfortable that the activities suit their interests and their context.
Yeah, because sometimes only follow the book could be bored for them,
Yeah,
and tired, like that. The same, always the same, always the
yeah,
same.
yeah, like, no, please, can we do a game? I don't wanna use a textbook, and I know, but we
Yeah,
have.
they don't see a real purpose on the activities.
Yeah, it's very, very important sometimes.
Could facilitate the creation for the lesson, the book.
Yeah, because I know what is next. So, and I think when, for example, for high school, I don't really have something to follow. And sometimes it's really hard, like, okay, what is next then? So sometimes I just use another book that I used to use for high school, or I base the lessons on the secondary ones, but a little bit harder. Because sadly, sadly, in Mexico, the students forget everything because they don't have contact with the language outside of the classroom. So if you notice from sometimes elementary to high school, even to college, we learn the same things over and over and over again because we forget. So sometimes I just need to adapt the activities for the high school students, but a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But that's what I follow. So yeah, the textbook helps me a lot sometimes.
Okay, well, that's good. I know the books have a disadvantage, but and advantage, but yeah, it's a balance.
Yeah.
I think.
It is a good tool sometimes.
I think. Thank you.
For me, well, the school is public and I have this libertad de cátedra, so I can teach. Yeah, it's very good. I think it's very good because I can do, or I can teach as I want, and I can use the methodology that I want, or yeah, the best for me and for my students. But we have to we have a book, but the coordinator asked us to tell the students to buy the book, but if we want, it's like, okay, if they want to, if you as a teacher want to use it, but make your students buy it. Oh, I don't, yeah, I asked them, like, do you want to use a book? Or do you prefer if I bring another activity? Of course, they prefer other activity because they don't want to buy a book that they will not use in class.
But is that optional? Right?
Yeah, yes, it is optional, but the coordinator she wants the students to buy the books because, of course, she.
Yeah, but it's a
something.
business.
Yeah, it's a
I mean,
business.
yes.
But for example, when I plan my classes, I have the freedom to whatever I want. And I do the activities that I want. I just follow the syllabus, and I just know, like, okay, in this semester I have these topics and I have to cover them, and that's it. And I plan the activities and I take the topics as I want because, yeah, it's my class and nobody is going to tell me how to teach because it's libertad de cátedra of the school. So yeah, it's a good thing.
It's like a free lesson.
Yes.
Like you have the book, but if you want
Yeah.
to use it, whatever. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I use activities from other books. I sometimes I use the activities from the book they ask us to use with students, or sometimes I do different activities that I invent or I find on the internet.
Well, I shared the same experience about lesson, how I create my lesson plans, because in the institution that I work, just give me the program, all the topics that I need to cover into the semester, and that's it. You can create the activities whatever you want, whatever you want to. If you want books or in online pages, whatever. So it's easy, but at the same time, you need to think a lot that where I'm going to get the activities. So I understand
Yes.
this experience. Thank you so much. Let's move on with the fourth question. That is, what is your the context beyond practice and how those affect you? Thank you.
I think for me, I teach in a private school, so the way that students behave and the parents behave is different. So it affects how I have to behave in the classroom. Because most of the students are like, you cannot talk to me like that because I paid you basically. So I have to try to.
That's very rude.
Yeah, that's very. Yeah, that's very rude. So I have to be like very patient with them. And another thing that is that my coordinators, well, there's two coordinators, one for kindergarten and elementary, another for high school and secondary. And they have like, they don't get along very well. So they are mostly the other coordinator. She's always trying to mess up all of our activities. And with the boss, with the principal of the school. So sometimes the environment that I'm into is very stressful for all of the teachers. It is very hard, for example, when the noise thing, some of the other teachers complain about it, but the elementary teachers. So I know it's just more like a fight that they have in the school. And it affects a lot, even the students, because they feel very stressed that every activity that we want to do, the other coordinator steps in and she messes it up. And it's very frustrating for them, for all of the teachers, for my coordinator, that everything that we try to do is messed up all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, it affects a lot
I
mentally,
know.
physically.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's funny that you mentioned that because I have a really similar situation, and I have in a private institute as well, and there is I don't know a status fight between coordinators, and sometimes it's a mess to I don't know who is the person that I need to follow. So that's yes.
Yeah, for me, it's a public school and I work with teenagers and yeah, I don't receive like comments like I hate you because they don't hate me. They were creative. So that was and yeah, so I have this I have students who are interested in the class, some of them are not, and others are they know English, but they are taking the class because they didn't took the exam de competencias, and I have to yeah, it's my context is with a lot of different social contexts because I have students from all levels. And yeah, so that makes me think as a teacher, like how to work, how to trade them. Also, I like to be friendly with them. I like to speak with them and get along with them. I prefer to get along more with the students than with other teachers. Um, and yeah, I have had a good relationship with my students. They like my classes. I ask them if they don't like something or if I should change something, or the kind of activities I apply in the class. And then, yeah, I like to have a good relationship with them. Also with the other teachers, but with the other teachers, it's like, I don't care if if you like me or not. But
Important is the student.
yeah, I think it's more important to have a good relation with the students. But that doesn't mean like, okay, so I don't get along with other teachers, like I ignore them because yeah, they are from Leon and God bless you and let's go to the church and don't do this and this. And I don't think the same as them and I prefer to stay apart from them. But yeah, it's fine. I have a good relationship with them, and yeah, so that's it.
Okay, that's interesting regarding that you say about the importance of have good relation with the students. I think the behavior is very important and you create the behavior and this confidence with the students. So yeah, it's very important. Thank you so much, Alex. Okay, let's move on with the last question. And that says, who helps you when you feel stressed or you have any problem with the students of the school or the school?
For me, well, I don't have family members who are teachers. So when I tell my mother and my dad, like, oh, I have this problem with this group or in school, they're like, okay, but I try to speak with them because they don't know. But normally I speak with my mother, with my friends who are teachers, or yeah, with my friends, and we share like, okay, you should do this, or why don't you do this thing, or yeah, something like this. And if I have a problem or something, yeah, I prefer to tell them, and they can give me any solution or help me. And but because in my family it's hard receive a good solution because they are not in the same.
They don't have the context.
Yes.
I think we all agree, like, that you cannot talk with someone if they don't know the context of being a teacher.
Yeah.
So yeah, most of the times I think we speak with other teachers, even if we don't get too along with that too much, but we try to.
Yes, I think when you talk with someone else, it's more like release the pressure, but
Yeah.
not to find me
Find
an solution. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
It's
you
more
just
like
said it
that.
to let it out, but when you need a
Yes.
solution, you need to go to another teacher.
Yes.
Well, I think that it's good because it's useful for us because we get out of the things that we have to say, like, "Ah, I feel better. This doesn't solution my problem, but I feel better. And I can found a solution. So that's important. It's very good that you talk this problems that you have with the school, the work, with the students. Okay. Another comment that you want to add to this question? No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for answering this question. We are going to get to the conclusion. For the conclusion for this discussion group, we have that it's very important as a teacher knows or begins or where we begin to be a teacher. Why this curious for being a teacher begin and it's very important. Not only because I have the chance to study that. No, it's more than only that. So this is our conclusion for the discussion group. It's more important that we learn in this discussion group. So I hope that you like it to discuss this question. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.